The moment you finally walk away rarely looks dramatic from the outside. Maybe it's just you staring at your phone, choosing not to reply this time, or closing the door a little more firmly than usual, or unfollowing them in quiet without a word. No shouting, no big scene, just one small decision that feels like nothing on the surface, and like an earthquake inside. Because the real story doesn't happen in the room you leave, it happens in the room you've never entered fully. The inner room where your soul has been waiting patient and tired, whispering the same thing over and over, enough. Carl Jung spent his life listening to that inner room. He knew that when you walk away from someone who drains you, you're not just ending a relationship. You are interrupting a pattern. You are tearing open a contract you signed long ago, often without knowing it. And tonight, we're going to sit with that moment. We'll look at what happens in you, what happens in them. You let everything grow. You told yourself it was loving. You told yourself it was spiritual. You told yourself it was loyalty. But if you look closely, you may notice something. The weeds weren't the only problem. You stopped tending to your own flowers to keep watering everyone else's. Walking away is the moment you finally pick up your tools and say, "This garden is not open to everything anymore." If you step in, you respect what's growing here. If you ignore that, the gate closes. Some will call you selfish for this. Some will say, "You've changed." Some will try to guilt you back into the old job, the gardener of their chaos. But Jung would tell you how others treat you is often a reflection of how you treat yourself. If you accept disrespect inside, you tolerate it outside. If you believe your needs are a burden, you attract people who agree. If you constantly abandon yourself, you end up with people who happily let you. When you start respecting your inner garden, you send out a quiet but powerful message. This is how we do things here now. Those who can't handle that will naturally drift away. Those who can will step closer, gently, carefully, with their own tools in hand. All of this, the letting go, the emptiness, the boundaries, is leading somewhere deeper, your authenticity. Not the polished version of you, not the mask that gets the most approval. The you that exists when nobody is watching. The you who knows what hurts and what heals. The you who is tired of playing roles. Jung believed we are each born with a pattern, a unique way of being that wants to unfold like a seed already carrying the shape of the tree. But many of us grow up bending into shapes that are safer for others. The easy child, the strong friend, the fixer, the forgiver of everything. Walking away is often the first time you choose your shape over theirs. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you become cold. It means your love stops costing you your self-respect. You begin to ask different questions. Do I feel at home with this person? Can I tell the truth here? Do I like who I become around them? Does this connection help me grow, or does it keep me small? When the answers are honest, many things fall away, but what remains becomes precious. You may find fewer people in your life, but more real conversations, fewer constant exchanges, but more moments where you feel deeply seen. This is how authenticity works. It doesn't make life easier. It makes life truer. And a true life has its own kind of peace, a quiet, solid calm that doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. There is a twist in all of this that can change how you see your past goodbyes. You thought you were walking away from them, but in many ways you were walking away from yourself, from the self who believed, I have to accept this. I don't deserve better. If I leave, I'll be alone forever. If I say no, I won't be loved. That self is the one you're truly leaving behind. You are not betraying them. You are freeing them. You are telling the hurt version of you. You don't have to stand in that fire anymore. You don't have to earn your place by suffering. You don't have to explain your pain to people committed to not seeing it. And maybe the most radical message of all, you get to choose. Not from revenge, not from pride, from clarity. Clarity about your limits. Clarity about your values. Clarity about the kind of love you are building your life around. Because love that demands self-erasure is not love. Devotion that kills your spirit is not loyalty. Connection that silences your truth is not intimacy. Walking away is not the end of the story. It is the first honest page. Of course, this path isn't straight. There will be days when you feel stronger than ever, and days when you find yourself staring at their profile again, wondering if you overdid it. Moments when a song, a place, or a smell triggers a wave of longing so strong it feels like drowning. On those days, remember this. Healing is not about never missing them. It's about not abandoning yourself when you do. You can miss someone and still know they are not good for your soul. You can feel nostalgia and still trust your decision. You can grieve the connection and still protect your peace. Every time you choose not to go back to what hurt you, you strengthen a new pathway in your psyche, a new story, a new way of relating to yourself. Bit by bit, your nervous system learns that safety is no longer in the familiar pain, but in the unfamiliar calm. And that calm is where your life begins to change. You start noticing opportunities you never saw before. Conversations that once exhausted you now feel easier to walk away from. Red flags that you used to paint white are now clearly red. This isn't cynicism, it's awareness. You're not closing your heart. You're closing the doors that lead back to the same old cliff. At some point you realize something powerful. You no longer need them to apologize to be at peace. You no longer need them to understand to feel valid. You no longer need them to recognize your worth for you to live it. That doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you stopped waiting for them to give you what you've started giving yourself. Respect, protection, care, honesty. This is the quiet freedom Jung pointed to, the freedom that doesn't depend on circumstances. You might still have challenges. You might still feel lonely some nights. You might still crave a certain kind of closeness. But now you are no longer willing to purchase that closeness with your silence. You would rather sit in an honest emptiness than in a crowded lie. And in that emptiness, life has a way of meeting you. You encounter people who have walked through their own fires, who know what it means to choose themselves without closing off. People who respect no as much as yes, who don't need you small to feel big, who don't confuse control with connection. Around them, your body relaxes without asking permission. Your laughter feels less edited. Your needs don't feel like a burden, but like part of being human. That is when you know the version of you who walked away did something incredibly brave. If this journey resonates with you, there's a reason. Maybe you're standing at the edge of a decision right now. Maybe you've already walked away and you're lost in the emptiness between what was and what will be. Maybe you're just beginning to suspect that loving them has meant losing you for far too long. Wherever you are, pause for a moment. Notice your breathing. Notice your body's reaction to these words. Is there a tightness that loosens when you imagine choosing yourself? Is there a small voice inside that whispers, "This is what I've been waiting to hear"? Don't ignore that. That voice is not reckless. It's not cruel. It's not selfish. It is the oldest, wisest part of you finally asking to be heard. You don't have to make a drastic move tonight. You don't have to send the message, block the number, or walk out the door instantly. But you can start by making one small promise to yourself. I will stop staying where my soul keeps leaving. From there, everything slowly begins to change. If you'd like to keep exploring this kind of inner journey, Jung's ideas, shadow work, and the quiet courage it takes to live authentically, stay close. In another story, we'll go deeper into one of the most mysterious parts of this path, the shadow, the side of you that holds both the worst you're afraid of and the best you haven't claimed yet. For now, I'd love to hear from you. What is the one situation, relationship, or pattern your deeper self is quietly asking you to step away from? And what part of you are you hoping to meet on the other side of that goodbye? Your reflections don't just stay on a screen. They remind other people listening that they're not alone on this path. Until then, keep listening to your intuition, to your boundaries, and to the quiet voice that keeps repeating, it's time to walk toward yourself. Why guilt hits so hard? Why the emptiness feels terrifying? And why on the other side of that emptiness, a very different version of you is quietly waiting. By the end, you may see that every goodbye you feared was actually the doorway to the most honest relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. Imagine this. You're in a relationship, a friendship, a family pattern. You already feel it. The tightness in your chest when their name appears on your screen. The way your body tenses before you answer. The small lies you tell yourself. It's not that bad. They didn't mean it. I'm just sensitive. You stay. You adapt. You shrink just a little. You laugh at things that don't feel funny. You accept apologies that never change anything. On the surface, life goes on. But deep below, something in your unconscious is taking notes. Every time you swallow your no, every moment you silence your intuition, every time you choose peace on the outside instead of peace on the inside, a quiet part of you records it. Jung would call this part of you the self, the deeper center, that knows who you really are, even when your conscious mind is confused. The self doesn't shout. It doesn't threaten. It waits. Until one day, something small happens. Not a huge betrayal, not a spectacular fight, just one more tiny moment where they cross a line you didn't even know you had. And instead of collapsing, you pause. You feel the old reflex rise up. Let it go. Don't make trouble. Be understanding. But this time, something inside answers back. No, not again. You still smile. You still nod. But internally, a decision has been made. You won't chase. You won't explain. You won't bend one more time. From the outside, it's nothing. Inside, it's a revolution. This is where the invisible work begins. The moment you choose distance, your psyche starts to reorganize. It's like pulling a plug out of a wall. For years, energy flowed one way from you toward them. Attention, care, time, emotional labor. Now suddenly that flow stops. At first you feel relief. You sleep a little better. You breathe a little deeper. You catch yourself not checking your phone every 5 minutes. But almost immediately something else arrives. Doubt, guilt, an ache that doesn't have words. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm the toxic one. This is not a sign you made the wrong decision. It's a sign that your unconscious is rearranging itself. For a long time, you built your identity around this connection. Someone who understands. Someone I need. Someone I have to fix. When you withdraw from that role, part of you feels like it's dying. Jung would say, in a sense, it is. Not you, but the version of you that survived by abandoning yourself. That death hurts. It feels like emptiness, like silence so loud it presses against your ribs, like standing in a room you once lived in that is now completely bare. Your first instinct is to fill it. New person, new project, new distraction, anything to drown out the echo. But this bare room is not a problem. It's a portal. If you can stay in it just a little longer than is comfortable, you start to see what actually lived in that relationship. Not just love or companionship or history, but also your fears, your childhood wounds, your hunger to be seen, your terror of being left. You didn't just walk away from a person. You walked away from the arrangement that said, I will abandon myself as long as you don't abandon me. That contract was never fair, but it was familiar, and the familiar always fights to survive. Now let's look at the other side. Your decision doesn't only move energy in your world, it sends a shock through theirs too. Maybe they act like they don't care. Maybe they post louder, laugh harder, move on faster. Or maybe they panic. They blow up your phone. They apologize dramatically. They promise they'll change. They tell you you're cruel, ungrateful, selfish. It's tempting to believe them, especially when guilt is already whispering inside you. But Jung had a word for what often happens here: projection. What a person refuses to accept in themselves, they throw onto someone else. If they can't face their fear of abandonment, they call you heartless. If they can't admit their need for control, they call you unstable. If they can't own their own shadows, they paint you as the darkness. Your absence becomes a mirror, and the image in that mirror is not always pretty. They aren't just missing you. They are being forced to confront the part of their life that you held together for them. Your empathy, your patience, your endless second chances. When those disappear, they finally feel the weight of what they have refused to see. You will be blamed for that, at least at first, because it is easier to call you cold than to admit I never thought you'd actually leave. Easier to say you changed than to ask, Why did I expect you to stay while I didn't? Your job is not to manage their reaction. Your job is to manage your own, to not rush back just because they are finally hurting, to not surrender your boundaries because they suddenly cry or shout or plead. Their pain is real, their story is real, but it is not your job to keep shielding them from themselves. As both of you face your own mirrors, the emptiness grows wider, nights feel longer, music hits differently. Silences that once felt peaceful now feel loaded. You might find yourself revisiting old messages, replaying memories, rewriting history in your mind. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I should have tried harder. Maybe this is what love is supposed to feel like. This is where your mind tries to drag you back into the old story, because the old pain at least is known. But if you listen closely beneath the noise of memory and fear, something new begins to move. You notice tiny flashes of light in your day. You have a conversation that feels calm. You spend a morning without anxiety. You laugh and your body doesn't flinch afterward, waiting for a punishment that never comes. These aren't coincidences. Jung would call them meaningful patterns, life responding to your inner shift. You made a statement with your decision. My peace matters. My needs count. I will no longer trade my soul for crumbs. The unconscious hears that. Reality starts to rearrange around it. You meet people who don't ask you to shrink. You stumble into activities that feel strangely right. Ideas you buried years ago begin to knock on the door again. On some days, you feel more alive than you ever did inside that old connection. On others, you miss them so much, it's hard to breathe. Both are part of the same process. You are not just losing, you are being remade. To move through this rebirth, you need one thing you were rarely allowed to have before: boundaries. Not walls, not coldness, clear lines. A boundary is simply the shape of your yes and your no. Yes to what nourishes. No to what depletes. Yes to mutual effort. No to emotional blackmail. Yes to repair. No to endless repetition. Think of your life as a garden. Your attention is water. Your time is sunlight. Your body is soil. Every person who enters this garden plants something. Some plant kindness, accountability, joy. Some plant confusion, shame, never-ending drama. When you had no boundaries, you said yes to every seed.